Kathy could be back. Look, I think if Melissa comes back with Dolo and Fuda, I think that there is a way that Kathy could be back under that circumstance. I think if Teresa came back, I think it would be great to make Jacqueline Lorita a friend. The same way Cynthia Bailey's a friend. There's something about the old cast with the new cast on Atlanta, and having Cynthia there just works for me. I never thought I would utter those words. Hey, I understand, guys, that Lorita lives in the OC. I got it. But Cynthia lives in Los Angeles for the most part. So it can work. Lorita can fly here and film once every few weeks and go right home to Nicholas. Okay. But if Melissa's back, maybe there is a world in which Kathy can be back. Although I'm not sure. I do think it's possible that Kathy would make an RHONJ return. Um, I'm not sure though, because I think if it's Melissa and Dolores and Fuda, I don't think now look, it's not going to be Teresa and Melissa. Kathy and Melissa would coexist. It wouldn't be that, but I don't even know if they would do that. I think they don't want any family drama. So if Melissa's back or Teresa, I just don't think necessarily Kathy would work. She'd work better with Melissa because they get over it. It wouldn't be like this battle like with Teresa, but I don't think they want any Gorga, Giudice, Wakile, any type of family drama between these people anymore. Not now. Melissa's also let us know that Antonia was not asked to be on Next Gen because she's in college. And if she ever wants to be on Next Gen, let her be on Next Gen. I would never stop my daughter from doing something. But guess what? I don't think she wants to be on the reality show. Good for you. You continue at the University of Delaware and get a degree, and maybe you'll go to law school. Maybe you'll be the lawyer in the Gorga Giudice family. Who knows? Who knows what she wants to be? We'll have to look into that. Not today, not tomorrow, not even next month, but eventually we'll get to that sometime before I die here at this microphone, which is possible. So, that's that. Kathy says then that she was pushed out of the show. Just to be clear, that she was brought in to be team to Melissa. We all know this is how you do it. You're brought in to be teams with someone. You don't have to be a genius. You wake up, it says your call sheet. Today you're filming with Melissa. Tomorrow you're filming with Joe. Then you're filming with Melissa. Huh, I don't have any scenes with cousin Teresa. Guess what? You're team Melissa. We figured it out for you. She says she was brought in. She was thrown on Melissa's side. She didn't want to take a side, but she was thrown on Melissa's side. And she didn't want to fight with Teresa. She grew up with Teresa. She had good intentions coming in, but misrepresentation and miscommunication has led to fights with Teresa, and she believes she was pushed out for the entire filming, which, I mean, we knew this already, but I guess, this really is how it works. This is true. This is the same story that Amber Marchese said on this podcast, that Kathy said on this podcast. We've had them all here. This is the story. You're on this side, and, you're all pawns. So I'm sorry you just realized this, Kathy. You should have called me. So she said that you were brought in to be on Melissa's side. She had conversations every day with Melissa, day in and day out, talking about cousin Teresa. And she was not on her side because she believes a brother and a sister should reconcile. And I believe Kathy's real. She doesn't want the brother and sister to have problems. She really believed that they should reconcile. She even said it's okay that I was pushed out because a brother and sister should always reconcile. She just said she had so many conversations with Melissa for days and weeks and everything. And then basically Melissa didn't need her anymore because somehow, we've talked about this on the podcast before, Melissa and Teresa got together and they said, let's call a truce. I want to stay on the show as Teresa. I want to stay on the show as Melissa. Let's call a truce. And when they called a truce, the next scene, Melissa shows up and says, I have a real problem with you. Why do you talk so bad about my sister-in-law? And Kathy's like, am I in the fucking Twilight Zone? You've spoken bad about your sister-in-law for the past 10 years. And by the way, you would text me and call me every day over the past 3 months of filming talking bad about your sister-in-law. What would happen? That's when she realized there must have been a conversation. They reconciled. Yes, they made an alliance. Let's reconcile for the sake of the show. And cousin Kathy was pushed out. Kathy, you were a pawn. You were a dispensable piece of trash, according to Melissa and Teresa. Everybody was. Everybody was. Bloggers, family members. They didn't care. They would do whatever they had to for the show. Melissa versus Teresa. I don't even mean for producers. I mean, Melissa herself, Teresa herself, they were maniacal. So, yes, Kathy, Melissa used you and then threw you away like a stale crust of bread when she was done with you. I'm sorry. I love you, girl. You should have called me. Anyway, the bloggers got used. Everybody got used. Anyway, could I see Kathy coming back? Yes, I could see her coming back under those circumstances. If it's going to work out with Melissa, we're not going to drag it out. Wakile versus Gorga for seasons. Kathy also said, I got to get to my theory about, I think I have a new theory about Teresa. She said that she didn't exactly purchase the house across the street from Melissa. It's actually diagonally down the street. That it is true. Kathy's lived in the area forever. She's always talked about wanting a house on the river. I get it. There are certain buildings in New York that I had to live in throughout my career in New York. There was one, the minute something came up, I was like, I mean, I have to have this apartment. Granted, then you live there, then you sell it, then you move on. But I at least one apartment. I had a river view, and I had to be in this building. I only live on high floors. I have a lot of weird idiosyncrasies in my real life. Let's not get into that. That's why I'm single, dying alone. But so she got the house. She always wanted the house on the lake. She got it. And she said that they don't exactly that they moved into her neighborhood. It is true. She's lived in Franklin Lakes forever. But she said that this I have a real problem with Melissa. I'm on Team Kathy. That she said that when they were going for that house, they walked in. She said to Richie, do what you have to. I have to have this house. I get it, Kathy. I am so addicted to real estate when I have to have something. There's not a lot of choices for me. I get very particular in like where I need to live. And I'm a weird case. But I get it. She had to have, and she said Melissa and Joe had already bought the house diagonally across the street and they were bidding against them. Now that's not nice. So you didn't want Kathy and Richie to live on the street where you bought a house. Granted, they lived in the area. So you went out of your way to bid against them, knowing that if your bid could be accepted, you could be Josefina Gorgasita, and they could say we're selling the house to them, and then you get the contract and you never sign. So there really is no risk. Just keep upping the price. They upped the price to keep them out of the neighborhood, and then Kathy and Richie had to pay more. I mean, what would have happened if they said, okay, Josephina Gorgasita, we accept your offer? He just would have said, I'm not signing the contract, go with them. Doesn't sound nice that they upped the price. Doesn't sound nice. That I'm Team Kathy on. Anyway, she was asked if she would ever go back during this interview, and Kathy said, go back to what? Jealous of what? Thank you, Sutton Strack. But it turns out that Kathy says she didn't say no. She said, go back to what? We've never had a break like this before. Is there even an RHONJ? Kathy's not so sure that there is actually an RHONJ, according to this. Melissa was doing some talking, and Melissa kind of hinted at a spinoff. Melissa kind of hinted at a spinoff. Melissa is also kind of saying the same thing. This is a really long pause, and let's just see what she said. She did say it's nice not to have to deal with defending yourself for no reason and people trying to say things that aren't true and dealing with family drama. She's so past it. She says the show is gonna come back around. It has to. She would be okay if it didn't. I would just be like, okay, let's see what's next. I can't be on the same show forever. It's been 15 years. I'm grateful for those years. It's given me a platform. She said it would have to be a new cast to convince her to come back. It seems like they're waiting so long. They're not holding this long to do the same thing. 100% true. Then asked about her, rumored spinoff, which does keep coming up. I keep hearing about this rumored spinoff of the Gorgas. I could see a spinoff for them more than I could see. What are we going to do with Louis and Teresa? Have the IRS knock on the damn door? But Melissa said, I don't know. It'd have to be the right situation. There's definitely things that we've been talking about, but it would be a little different spin. Let's just put it that way. Could it be like Vanderpump style? I mean, there's all this talk about Dorinda's Bluestone Manor. It's the same concept. Could it be a workplace drama? Mama Melissa and Daddy Joe driving between Huntington, Long Island, sweethearts. It's closer than the Hamptons, but Huntington, Long Island to New Jersey is fucking far. But could it be Mama? Mama Messy G and Josefina Gorgasita, the little guy, you guys know the little guy, driving back and forth between Huntington and the other Envy store and having, hot young girls and like a hot gay guy work in the store. I mean, and everyone's out and getting drunk. Could that be the spinoff? With some home life stuff with Melissa and Joe. I've heard some rumors, but I don't know what Melissa's talking about, but that's what I've heard. So I heard this spinoff could really happen for her. I don't know if it will. Anyway, my theory about this has come up a long time. Someone brought this up to me the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, I've thought this for weeks and I haven't said it, but